Number 1, the Jets, they lost again. And now they're officially out of the playoffs. They're 3-9. Is it just time to sit Aaron Rodgers at this point?
No, play him more. I would play him on defense. I would do everything I can to try and get the man to retire and save this team $23+ million on the cap next year. It's not like playing Tyrod Taylor's 35 years old as a part of your future. Jordan Travis is hurt. The other quarterback, I believe, is Adrian Martinez. Is he their other quarterback? So there's really no point. At this point, have A-Rod go down with the ship, and as it burns to the ground, maybe A-Rod will retire and save him cap money on next year.
The thing is that when you're a bad team and you get to this point in the season, the season's done, you look to tank. And your best tanking solution is to just keep doing what you're doing, which is playing Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this is a win-win situation, really. If you're on the outside looking in, you can make him start and suffer through the worst season of his career, or you can embarrass him by having him ride the bench. Either way works for me, but what's best for the Jets and their draft seeding might just be tanking with Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, 3 for 3 here. Just let Rodgers play this thing out. I mean, you built this team. You go down with the ship, right?
Yep.
You got Devontae Adams here, and then all the other guys that you wanted here are gone now because they were that old and terrible already. I mean, if Rodgers claims he's fine, then you play him. You mentioned already, Doug, the backups it's no one worth developing, so there's really no other reason to play anybody else. And you let the man go out on his shield, I guess, or whatever, he's calling it. But yeah, Rodgers, just play him at this point. Who cares? All right, Texas linebacker Aziz Al-Shaair has been suspended 3 games for his hit on Trevor Lawrence. Is this too punitive, not enough, or just right?
I think it might be just right. Look, he's got a history of questionable hits in his career and unnecessary roughness penalties, and the hit he had against Trevor Lawrence is pretty damn egregious if you watch it. I mean, when you watch it full speed the first time, I cringed. I was, that's not good. And then when you watch it in slow motion and see it's just a forearm right to the helmet, there's no excuse for it. I think that it's pretty bad. His apology that he put on Twitter is pretty great. I appreciate that as a fan. I think it's great. I think that he mentioned that he had talked to Trevor Lawrence before the game and respected him as a player and all that. And hey, things happen on the field of play. You're out there to try to hit somebody as hard as you can. It wasn't his intention. But he does apologize for it. He doesn't want anybody to be hurt. I love the apology, and it's great. But, his reputation precedes him.
I blame Patrick Mahomes. Because Patrick Mahomes a few weeks ago did the fake slide thing and then ran for another 25 yards. I believe it was late in the game and set up an important score. The fake slide thing does a lot of damage because defensive backs are encouraged to finish their tackles. And a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence is maybe the victim of that. Now, look, this guy's got a reputation, so it's not like he's innocent. I actually think the suspension is just right based upon the reputation. But I have a ton of sympathy for defensive players for 2 reasons. One is the fake slide, which is all it's going to do is make more defensive players go, well, I got to finish the hit. But 2 is when you launch to make a tackle and somebody drops their helmet into your path, you're trying to anticipate that he's going to slide. But it's such a hard thing to do. But, because of his history, I think it's the right thing.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's probably just right with the 3 games. I know the Texans aren't too happy about it, and they're standing up for their guy, which they should. I get that part. But I think 3 games is just right because you kind of have to set an example for defenders to, hey, you can't do this. And I'm very sympathetic as well, Doug, to defenders. They're going to put in a very bad spot here. I mean, they've got to finish plays and stop the quarterback from gaining any extra yards. But then you also don't know, is this guy going to slide or not? The thing is, I do go back to the quarterback as well. Don't play that game. I use that game in air quotes because that game is, am I going to slide? Am I not going to slide? Am I going to go out of bounds? Am I not going to go out of bounds? Don't play that game because if you play that game and you lose, you're out indefinitely, okay? The defender is out healthy because he'll be suspended, but you're out unhealthy, and you don't want to be that.
Good point.
This I don't think will ever happen, but you might want to bring up in the next meeting is, should they just get rid of the slide altogether? That way we don't even have to guess anymore. If you leave the pocket, you're a running back. Do you want to leave the pocket? All right, the Chicago Bears president, Kevin Warren, said the Bears head coaching job this offseason will be the most coveted job. Is he right? And if he's not right, what will be the most coveted job?
So this statement is really about backing up your rookie quarterback as much as anything. The implication is that the Bears' job is better than the Jets or Saints' job or any other job that comes over because Warren thinks his young quarterback, his quarterback of the future, is the guy that coaches are going to want to have on their roster. And I'm not sold on Caleb. In fact, I'd rather have Shedeur Sanders, and the Jets have a better shot at the top pick. If the Giants' job becomes available, they have a real shot at the top pick to get the quarterback that you might want. So, look, I think Kevin Warren's doing what a good soldier, good leader would do. He's basically backing his quarterback and saying, everybody's going to want to coach my guy. Whether he believes it or not, it's good to go public with that.
I think it's interesting to see what the Jets have. They do have a great defense. They do have some weapons on offense, and I think that's a pretty good team to go to. But you're going to be starting all over with a brand new quarterback. I do like Shedeur, but I do think it's the Bears. The Bears have so much to work with. We talked about it. They're playing right now defensively. They've got 3 guys in the secondary that are on IR right now, so that hurts them defensively. But offensively, they're gifted. They've got the first-year quarterback. You'd be going to a situation to work with Caleb Williams after he's already got his feet wet in the NFL. You've seen some success. You've seen some failures. But I do think it's the Bears. I found it interesting. One of the pundits on ESPN.com had this to say. He said, I'm sure every candidate would love to coach the Chiefs or the Lions, but those spots aren't available anytime soon. So I'd love to hear more praise for the Lions. Unfortunately, it means that Ben Johnson becomes the number 1 candidate for a lot of teams, and I wouldn't doubt that the Bears would want him as the number 1 candidate.
So is the Bears head coaching job the most coveted this offseason? This all starts with the quarterback. So I think it depends on if you believe in Caleb Williams, then yes, this is the most coveted job. But you got to go around the rest of the league and find out what the quarterback situation is. Is it an incoming rookie? Is it someone who's already there? Guys, I honestly think if Mike McCarthy's not the coach of the Cowboys next year, I think the Cowboys is the most coveted job because you have an owner. He is crazy, don't get me wrong, but he wants to win now. And he actually does have the pieces to win right now. Say what you want about Dak Prescott. He's way more proven than Caleb Williams or Shedeur Sanders is, all right? They have offensive weapons and CeeDee Lamb. They got to build the offensive lineup a little bit more. But defensively, they have plenty of pieces. They should have been a lot better defensive this year than they were. It was complete letdown in all phases of the game for the Cowboys this year. But if you were asking me for a team to make the playoffs next year and make a run for the Super Bowl, I think the Cowboys have all the pieces. And if Ben Johnson goes there, he can go right away. I bet you can turn that offense around to what it was supposed to be. And I don't want that to happen because I want Ben to stay here. But the pieces are already there for the Cowboys. All right, Justin Tucker is 19 for 27 this year, and he's missed 2 extra points. He's got the most missed field goals in the NFL. Simply put, is Justin Tucker done?
No, he's not done because kickers kick till they're like 60. I mean, we went through our life and we saw guys like Jan Stenerud kicking when he had his AARP card, or Morton Anderson kicking forever. Guys just kick forever, and he's going through a slump this season. This is the first year you're looking at and going, what the hell's going on? He can get things corrected, come back next year and be better. But you do have to be concerned about it if you're Baltimore. I mean, do you want to look elsewhere and try to find somebody? But kickers have shown a resiliency throughout the history of the NFL.
Jan Stenerud?
Yeah, I went there.
I mean, Matt Prater's 40, so you could have gone Prater.
Well, how old was Stenerud when he stopped kicking?
Who knows?
Like 48 or
who
something?
is he?
I don't think
Hall of Fame kicker.
I don't think Justin Tucker is done because the alternatives guys off the street. This may be Google search should the Ravens cut Justin Tucker, and all the people that were in favor of it had no suggestions over who should replace him. None. So no, I don't think he's done.
I don't think he's done, but he might be done this year. Okay, this happens in football. This happens in sports, guys, where a guy just loses it, and it's really hard to find again. Especially with a kicker, it's not just physically; it's mentally with kickers. Maybe he has a real bad case of the yips or whatever it is this year, and he can't get it together. Now, could he rectify himself in the offseason? And teams are always looking for kickers, so I think he'll find another job if something were to happen in Baltimore. But this may be the year where just Tucker doesn't have it this year, and he might cost them an important game, or if not a playoff game this season. So I say he's done for this year. All right, last Sunday, the Patriots, speaking of kickers, they sent out their kicker, Joe Sly, to attempt a 68-yard field goal to try to win the game. He came up a bit short. Whose fault is this? Coach Jared Mayo or Sly for missing the kick?
I guess I'm going to go with Sly because you tell coaches and special teams coaches where you're good out to during warmups. And he came up like 5 yards short or whatever it was. But I guess if you tell your coach I can make it, now sometimes you just hit it wrong. Sometimes you hit the football wrong. So whether it was execution or he was full of poi, I don't know. But I think the coach goes with what the kicker tells him he's capable of. And usually those guys set their limits during warmups.
I'm going to blame Mayo, the coach, but I ain't mad at him. You know, as a fan watching that take place, watching Red Zone, I was laughing hysterically. I'm like, this is amazing. I want to see somebody try to kick at 68. Was he short? You betcha. But, I mean, you know, in the end, it's the head coach's decision, and you've got a strong-armed quarterback there who can heave the ball up in the air. If you're expecting a kicker to be able to kick a 68-yard field goal, I'm expecting the quarterback to be able to throw it 60 yards in the air and at least have a chance to catch it in the end zone, or perhaps pass interference. This happens all the time, defensive holding, whatever you want to find. Take a shot that way.
So this is kind of like a both. You know, for me, I'm going to go with both. And I guess you make me lean towards one way, I'll go with the kicker. But yeah, Jared Mayo, you can't send him out there for a 68-yarder. And Sly, I think every kicker, and maybe Doug, you being on the sidelines and things know this more than others, they always say when the coach goes to them and says, hey, can you make this kick? 100% of them go, yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Whatever you need, I'll go out there and make it. Has the kicker ever said, you know what? This is a little too far. I can't make this. 68, are you nuts? Can a kicker just step up and say, dude, coach, no, send the Hail Mary unit out there. I ain't got the leg for this. In fact, it's going to be 5 yards short, and it's going to be comical. So in the end, I'll blame Sly for not telling him, Mayo, that, dude, I can't make this. But I think Mayo should know better as well. All right, last one, guys. Steelers running back Najee Harris left Sunday's game early in the first quarter with an alleged leg injury. Harris later revealed this week that the real reason was, man, it was Thanksgiving. Pat Furmuth's girlfriend, Jill, made some fire-ass little banana thing, and I just had too much. I guess I didn't know it affected me till the first drive. Later, he said that he had some oranges and he was good to go. All right, guys, two-part question here. What was that little fire-ass banana dish he was talking about, you think? And is there something that you just can't get enough of that can cause you to have an upset stomach?
I'm dying to know what the banana thing was. I don't know. Was it Bananas Foster? Was that it? Where you know, and I don't.
Could be so many things, Gator.
It could be, and I know that's flambéed. I don't think that's what he meant when he said it's a fire ass banana. I think he meant that it was like awesome. So
it was lit.
It was lit, exactly 100. So I think that was the case there. But for me, pizza rolls. I haven't eaten pizza rolls in years.
You get a little carried away?
I get way carried away. You can't just have like the little box of like 15. You got to get the bag, and then when you start putting them into the cookie sheet, like, why am I just doing a little? Do them all. And then you have this sad look on your face when you're done with it, and an hour and a half later when you're on the bowl, you know, things happen.
Okay, so let me start with this. What was it?
Yeah.
The best banana dish I ever had was a banana bread pudding.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking about it makes me salivate. But the food that
do you know Pat Fryermuth's girlfriend?
I do not.
Jill.
The food that I will not. If you put a pumpkin pie in front of me, and try to stop me from having a second piece, I will mess you up. I can eat so much pumpkin pie.
How big is that first place?
That's huge. I have no filter when it comes to pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie.
Good to hear.
All right, I'm going to go with, banana pudding as well, Doug. I think she did something with the wafers. I have no idea, but my man couldn't stop eating. But the dish for me, guys, I've said it before, deviled eggs, man. I'm not around them often, but if there's a tray, it's a holiday season, I can't eat like a 6-egg omelet, but I can eat 12 deviled eggs like nobody's business.
Hell yeah.
And there it is. That concludes the Wide 9 Omaha 4 Down Around the League Blitz thingy.